Season 7 test server patch notes are finally here, and honestly, some of these weapon changes could completely shake up the meta. Just keep in mind these are test server balance changes, so everything can still change before the official update. Now let's get into the weapons. Starting with the BAL-27, its range profile has been reduced from 10, 8 and 30 meters to 10, 16 and 26 meters, so it'll lose some effectiveness in medium-range gunfights. And SO-14 also gets hit with a nerf. Its range profile drops from 15-30 meters to 10-20 meters, while the head multiplier goes from 2x to 1.9x, making headshots a little less rewarding. However, there's also a big buff, because the wildfire attachment now gets an 80% damage range increase, which could make that build much stronger than before. Moving on to the ISO, its damage profile has been adjusted from 25 damage up to 10, 23 up to 18M, 17 up to 25 millers, and 15 beyond that to 25 up to 11 mem, 23 up to 20 meters, 18 up to 25 and 15 after that, making its damage much more consistent. Meanwhile, FSS Nightshade now increases the chest. Multiplier from 1.1x to 1.2x in the leg, multiplier from 0.9x to 1x, so body shots will be much more forgiving. KN-44 also gets a nice quality of life buff with reduced horizontal recoil, making it easier to control during sustained fire. And then we have the M4, which actually receives multiple buffs. Its ADS bullet spread improves from 2011 to 18-9. Third damage phase increases from 20 to 22. And the chest multiplier goes from 1.1x to 1.2x, making the gun much stronger and more consistent at range. On top of that, the OWC Ranger barrel also gets buffed. The movement speed penalty is reduced from 3% to 1%, ADS movement penalty improves from 12% to 6%, and the ADS time penalty drops from plus 14% to plus 8%, making this attachment much easier to use. M16's wildfire attachment now gives 3% extra movement speed and 8% more ADS movement speed, making aggressive play feel much smoother. And that's not all. The MIP Strike stock now provides 10% better vertical recoil control, while Tactical Foregrip A gets 10% better horizontal recoil control, making recoil much easier to manage. VP50 also receives some attachment adjustments. The Leroy 438mm Rapid Barrel now increases the stomach multiplier from 1x to 1.1x, while the 7.62 USK 54mm 30-round magazine loses its stomach multiplier buff but gets its damage range bonus increased from 20% to 40%, making it much stronger at longer ranges. Meanwhile, Grau 556 gets even better. Its range profile increases from 15-23 meters to 17-28 meters, while ADS bullet spread improves from 29 to 18-8, making one of the most accurate ARs even more reliable. HVK-30's large caliber ammo also gets buffed, with the lower arm multiplier increasing from 1.4x to 1.46x, while the magazine penalty is reduced from 7 rounds to 5 rounds, making the attachment more forgiving. And if you're a Vargo-S player, you'll definitely like this. Bullet. Speed increases from 780 meters per second to 880 meters per second. The chest multiplier goes from 1.1x to 1.18x, and the 60-round drum magazine no longer reduces bullet speed, making long-range fights much easier. Now on to the final page of weapon balance changes. ICR-1 gets its initial damage increased from 30 to 31, giving it a stronger opening damage profile. Its Macromag IFS attachment also receives lower ADS time penalty, dropping from 40% to 30%, while the movement speed penalty improves from 6% to 4%, making the attachment much more usable. SKS also receives 2 important buffs. ADS time has been reduced from 340 meters to 320 meters, and the fire interval drops from 165 meters to 158 meters, allowing faster follow-up shots. Chest 2126 gets several adjustments as well. Burst fire interval improves from 128 meters to 120 meters. Range profile increases from 3.7-12 meters to 4.8-12 meters in multiplayer, although the burst delay is slightly increased from 383 meters to 400 for balance. DP27 also gets a nice buff, with bullet speed increasing from 650 to 780 meters per second, while the 105 round pan magazine adds another 10% bullet speed, making the weapon much stronger at long range. Even the SMRS wasn't left untouched. Swap time improves from 420 meters to 320 meters. ADS time drops from 380 ms to 300 ms, and it also receives increased damage and splash radius, making it much deadlier than before. And finally, the Nailgun gets a better range profile, increasing from 916 meters to 1218 meters, while the leg multiplier goes from 0.9x to 1x, making it more consistent in close-range fights. Now let's move on from the weapon balance changes to the operator skills. Scorestreaks, Throwables, perks, and BR class adjustments. Most of these aren't huge reworks, but a few of them could definitely change the way people play. Starting with the Napalm Scorestreak. Its duration has been increased, meaning it'll keep enemies under pressure for even longer, and Chopper Gunner now has a lower score requirement, so it'll be easier to earn during a match. Strafe Run also gets buffed with a larger damage radius, making it more effective against grouped up enemies. Moving on to Drill Charge, it now drills through surfaces slightly faster, and the detonation delay has also been reduced, so it'll explode much quicker after breaking through. Flash Strike receives a similar drilling speed buff, making it more responsive during fights. Purifier also gets a buff with increased passive recharge speed, allowing you to earn it more frequently throughout the match. Meanwhile, Gravity Spikes also recharge faster passively, so aggressive players should be able to use them more often. Quick Strike gets a really nice quality of life improvement because the slowdown while charging has been completely removed, making it much easier to chase enemies. Shockwave also receives a buff with increased knockback in its base version, giving it better crowd control. Now let's talk about the nerfs. Defender has its flash duration reduced, and the number of charges has also been lowered, making it less frustrating to play against. Toxic Overload also gets toned down, with its movement speed debuff being reduced, so players won't be slowed as much anymore. Moving on to the BR classes, Ninja now has a shorter maximum grappling distance, limiting how far you can swing. Jet Boost also gets nerfed with reduced jet slide acceleration, so its movement won't be as explosive as before. Hacker has its hacking duration reduced, meaning you'll have less time to disable enemy equipment. And finally, Medic gets one nerf and one buff. The number of charges has been reduced, but the cooldown time is also lower, allowing you to recharge those charges faster during the match. So that's every balance change currently available in the Season 7 test server. Just remember, these are still test server patch notes, so any of these buffs or nerfs can still change before the official update goes live. Which change are you most excited about? And which one do you think should be reverted? Let me know down in the comments.